talk about PropTech, we refer to this cross between information technology and its use on the industry of real estate. In general, we can see when we talk about PropTech and the relationship with the human component of real estate, we will see clearly three types of platforms. One is more related about sort of replacing the human component, and there you will see a lot of use of artificial intelligence. Then there is another one that would be more the support side, so tech as a support of the human component, and basically using different tools to support how we serve our clients. And then there is a sort of mix, a blend between the first two, and this could be, I would say, silo companies like that are really using this kind of mix.
Yeah, I think PropTech, from my perspective, has to address two things, right? One, which is increasing efficiency, and two, which is increasing the level of quality that you're going to be delivering. And that starts from conceiving of an actual project to the construction elements of it, all the way to the end user, and the technology that you'll be using either to market or to sell.
At Modern Ventures, we actually don't really love the term PropTech. We try not to use it a lot. We talk about technologies that apply to the real estate verticals that we take a look at: commercial, multifamily, and residential. Basically, we're just trying to solve the same problems in real estate that are solved in the other, Fortune 5,000 and 10,000 companies. Lead generation, looking at data using AI, all of these things. We're just applying these technologies in the real estate vertical.
The reality is that whenever you download an app and you agree certain terms that most of the people do not even read, you don't realize the amount of information that you're giving out. You don't realize how this information is going to be used. On the one side, I would say it has the beauty of, given that data, we can know so much and we can make so many advances and innovations, and we know more about people. But at the same time, there is a limit, basically an ethical or regulatory limit. Technology is very fast, regulation is very slow, and we have faced the issue of collecting this data to create certain things, but at the same time, the liability or the potential liability of having hackers or any cyber security crime from identity theft, there is a lot of things that are a concern for us. Having said that, there is a lot of innovation behind that, and it's always a balance.
We really are strong advocates for data privacy. In fact, our belief is that the conversation is not actually around data privacy, but data ownership. And we're trying to create classifications of who owns what data, because there are certain data points that should be owned by the building, but there are certain data points that should be owned by the residents as well. So we are trying to pave the way of defining some level of classification and working very closely with our customers and saying who are the building owners typically, and really making sure that they understand that in some ways it's better for them to not own all the data, because that's a potential liability risk, right? And we also are creating what we would call double blinds or single blinds, where we don't actually know the data that might be going through our network as well. So that leaves us somewhat, more secure and safe to not know in some ways what the data is going through our services.
Well, we have a company that we just invested in that does 3D home printing on site. So actually can print an 800 square foot home, the shell of it, for less than $10,000 in a couple days. The cement, so essentially taking the idea of, instead of framing a house with timber, doing it with a special type of cement, and it has essentially, it looks like an 80-foot long printer, a 3D printer. So that's sort of on the bleeding edge. And the initial applications are definitely in the second and third world and charitable, but the idea is they're going to be building second stories, and this is going to, in the next generation, be able to cover most of the housing stock in the US.
I feel we have a lot of tools. Matterpod is something that I liked in terms of virtual reality. We have drones, we have many ways to encourage people to see, different type of floor plans, virtual staging. I think there is like a lot of tools out there, but also I would say like there are many changes that are related to the transactional side. Let's say there are firms like DocuSign that I don't know if you have used it, but it's changing how you basically sign everything, every contract. For us, that when we do like international transactions, it's something so easy, so simple, but it's very helpful. So I will say like there are like many simple technologies that I feel like they make all transactions like very smooth.
I mean, I would kind of add that we do, the revolutionary things like 3D printing, and then the less revolutionary things like, eliminating security deposits with our company LeaseLock, which helps the building's NOI, or a technology-enabled service like Hello Alfred, which hopefully reduces turns. These are the types of things that are technology-enabled. They're not exactly revolutionary, but they're certainly applicable today and really can affect bottom lines.
Definitely for us, I would say that makes our company different from other brokerages. It has changed the way we communicate with our clients. It has changed the way we connect with our colleagues. It has changed how we connect to our own data and our productivity and ourselves, and also the information that we have about the market. We have like many, I would say, proprietary tools. For example, everything that is related to our clients or CRM, we have tools like one is called Collections, and there we chat continuously with our clients, and we search for them with filters that no one else has. And there is a sort of interaction and transparency in the whole process. They even see how much money we make basically, and what's the commission on each. I feel all that creates sort of a transparency in the business that is great to have, because again, this is a business of trust. Then we have tools like the Insights. This is basically tracking all our productivity. If we have basically an ad, or if we have a website, or we have a listing, we can know how many people have been, clicking there, what type of advertisement actually works, what does not work, how we spend our money. And the same with markets. We have real-time information about sales, and that's information that is absolutely mobile. I think one of the main things that have to change is the fact that we use our phones for literally everything.
I think just in general, in terms of real estate tech and the evolution of the industry, we are in the absolute beginning innings. Real estate's 20% of the US GDP, less than 5% of venture capital today is dedicated to that. If you look at the Fortune 5 and 10,000, there's probably 100 firms in New York focused on B2B SaaS for the Fortune 5 and 10,000. There's probably 5 funds in the US focused on real estate tech. So I think there's just going to be huge seismic changes in the industry, because money is going to continue to pour in, but that we're just at the beginning innings of that.
But I would say that some of the technologies are being adopted by larger enterprises, and so some of the new firms make it exciting, innovative, etc., and they may get product market fit. But it's the telcos, ISPs, and others that are going to make it repeatable and scalable and easy for you all to adopt, right? So it's like a no-brainer as part of the package. And I think that's what's exciting when you get past that threshold of product market fit, and then it becomes something that's repeatable and scalable and easily adoptable and easily executable. And that's when it gets really interesting.
I'd say broadly speaking, I think we're really interested in companies that are creating software to replace what are today either pen and paper processes or kind of Excel-based, Microsoft Excel-based analyses. Just given that our fundamental belief is like business-specific software that's purpose-built for certain applications is always going to be better than manual, kind of error-prone, like human-led processes.
Following that, there are applications like Board Packager, which again, they're very simple, but they make the whole process very smooth. They solve like very particular issues, the hazard of doing a board package where there is some interaction online and you can just upload everything. And I think many of the technologies that probably they're not like huge platforms, but they solve like very specific problems. I think one of of the biggest trends is just going green. I think there is a lot of awareness about the environment, and this has been translated into architecture and design. And also, I mean, it has a technological aspect that when you want to, have a green building, that comes with solar panels on this and that. There is like many additions that follow this trend, and I think it's a very nice trend to follow actually.